Vi sitter då här på den näst sista dagen av Mid-Season Invitational och mellan matcherna här så fick vi tag på Erik Lonnquist som kommenterar OGN då tillsammans med Monte Cristo. Hi Doa.
Hey, how's it going?
It's all good. How are you enjoying Tallahassee so far?
I'm enjoying it a lot. I mean, it's really hot. Like after coming here right after the Korean winter, it's like quite a change in temperature. But I don't know. The town seems nice. The food is good, and the games are great. So can't complain.
So obviously you cast the LCK nowadays with, or you have for quite a while together with Monte Cristo. So like, you've not made it to like all the international events so far. Like for the two latest world stops, you haven't been present. So like, how does it feel like to travel abroad finally with the entire like Riot machine and get a cast an international event here? Like, you know.
Well, it feels good to finally make it to a Riot event. I mean, we're always busy in Korea, and there's not a lot of chance to go and do events outside of that with the schedule that we have. And you know, Riot's already got a lot of great play-by-play casters. So it was a matter of kind of you know, where exactly do I fit in that, you know, and there's been some changes, and so now there's room, and so here I am, and yeah, hopefully it's not the last one.
Your casting style has really struck a chord with like the entire like Western audience. It even did like back during the days when a lot of people didn't necessarily watch OGN, and like I just wonder like where that I guess all that humor comes from, because when you cast StarCraft 2, it didn't really, because you did cast StarCraft 2 before League of Legends, for anyone that didn't know, it didn't really shine through as much like the comedic aspect of your casting. But like now, when together with Monty, you know, people almost like wait in like the live report thread, like, okay, what's Doa gonna say next, you know? So like, how did that entire aspect of your casting shine through?
Well, I mean, I think it's nice in that League of Legends is sort of giving me a chance to finally be myself. In StarCraft 2, I found a lot of situations where I was sort of put into the analyst role, and while I like really getting in depth with video games and I like analyzing things, it's not really, you know, the thing I'm best at, you know. And so I feel like in the role I had in StarCraft 2, I was never able to quite be myself. And I had a good time, but with League of Legends, I can really just sort of like kick back and like really focus on the hype and focus on the entertainment side of it, and so I think it's just a matter of kind of getting to be myself, you know.
Like, was it hard finding that balance to begin with? Because I can imagine that Monte Cristo, who even back in the day before he started casting for OGN, he had a very analytical approach to it, and that was casting back then too. Like, you are essentially the first caster, at least I know, that can manage to crack these jokes in such a flawless way. So like, what was it like? Did you have to like break through some kind of serious shell with Monte Cristo, or was he just like completely open to the idea to begin with?
Oh no, Monty's actually like a really funny guy. People don't realize that, because again, you know, when you're the analyst and you have to have the serious sort of talk about breaking down everything in the game, you don't really get as much time to, you know, be funny and be entertained. But Monty's a really funny guy too. So he's really great at when I say one of my like silly things, he's able to pick it up immediately. He doesn't get thrown off by it. Like, there's no awkward pauses, and so yeah, that's the fact. It's like Monty's a really funny guy too, and so he's able to sort of roll with it in a really good way. But as the analyst, you know, he kind of relies on, I guess, me to bring that up, and then he can follow up on it, and we kind of have that dynamic going. So no, it was always really easy. I mean, Monty's been really easy to cast with from day one. You know, I mean, he's been like absolutely the best caster I've ever worked with. Just very professional, very cooperative and everything, and yeah, I think I've just been really fortunate to get to work with him.
Like, obviously your style is very appreciated, but do you feel like maybe like at an event like this where you cast with other casters, maybe in a tri-cast, or you're paired up with someone else that's not Monte Cristo, do you feel like it's hard to like, you know, balance that out? Like, you know, in contrast to their style, perhaps, you know, is it okay? Do you feel like it's easy to get the jokes in properly, or?
I find it a little bit tougher just because there's not as much time for it. When you've got two analysts in the same game, then the play-by-play's job is mostly team fights, but also to sort of facilitate discussion between the two analysts. And so when you're doing that, the analysis periods of the game are going to be longer, and so there's not as much time for it. And I think that's fine, honestly. I mean, people are there to watch the game and hear information about the game, and you know, as I like being funny, but I like to focus on the game, you know, more than anything else. So it's just a matter matter of, you know, me needing to adjust. It's not something where, you know, I feel like, you know, getting angry about it and be like, oh, I don't have time to say a funny joke. It's more just like, well, this is just a different dynamic to the cast, and so it's on me to sort of adjust to that and keep it running smoothly, even if it means, you know, less opportunity to sort of be funny. So I think it's went really smoothly this weekend. I'm still kind of new to the whole TriCast thing. You know, Monty and I have been doing a duo for years now, right? So it's there's always, you know, more to learn, but I think things have gone really well this weekend. It's been fun.
So, like I said, like your home region right now is South Korea, and it's been a very interesting journey for it ever since the LCK came into place and last year's Worlds concluded with so much of the established talent, like the gods of South Korea, deciding to leave to China, and like the LCK coming into place, so it's more like a league now instead of a tournament. And like, from your perspective then, as a fan of StarCraft 2, where South Korea always was, you know, like the dominant force, and as well as League of Legends, did you ever feel like South Korea was losing its edge during the start of the year now, like up until here when we could see that they're still really good? Did you feel like the region was going through a lot of change?
Oh yeah, I mean, it was huge changes, and no doubt South Korea is a weaker region now than it was a year ago. You know, none of the teams in Korea right now, including SKT, are as better or as good as I think Samsung White was when they won Worlds last year. And I mean, it's natural. You lose that much talent, the scene is going to take a big hit. What's amazing is that South Korea is able to, you know, sort of create these top teams again, you know, and they really were starting from almost scratch in a lot of cases, as far as cultivating new talent, taking people like Gank My Mom and Space and Smeb that really hadn't been really successful before, and then, you know, making them into these stars. And so, you know, it's going to take a while for Korea to get back to where they were, but, you know, already we're seeing how SK Telecom is doing this tournament. They're, you know, they look better than everybody else, but it's not quite as much of a gap as there was before. You know, I mean, they lost the game to Fnatic, and Fnatic is playing fantastically too, but, you know, the idea of that happening even a year ago is a lot less believable than it is now. So it's unfortunate for the Korean region that they've had to take this hit in terms of talent like that. I think there's a lot of issues that existed and still exist in terms of compensation for the players in the top teams, and sort of how the players are treated in general. So until all of those are resolved, I think we're going to still see players leave for China on a fairly regular basis. And so it's a challenge for the Korean scene, and luckily they're just so good, and they've got the system in place to produce these good teams, both culturally and socially and sort of like business-wise as well too, that it's still going to be a strong region. I still think Korea's going to win Worlds this year, but it's going to be a closer match, which isn't bad at all. I mean, closer matches are more exciting, so this isn't necessarily a bad thing.
All right, then. Thank you so much for your answers, though. Any final words?
I guess, you know, watch on GameNet, come and check out Champions. It's a fun tournament, so hopefully me being here will help more people want to watch the home region that I'm representing right now as well too, and hopefully, you know, everyone keeps watching League, and I guess thanks for supporting me, etc., etc. I'm bad at this stuff, but I'm too humble. Thanks for watching my stuff. I guess that's all I got to say.
Thanks a ton.
Thanks.